Hi everyone, welcome to Grow Roots. This is Shannon, and today I am going to be doing some much needed fall garden cleanup. It is already late October and I just have not had a chance to get into my garden and do all of the fall garden cleanup things, taking my annuals out. I have some pansies to put in. I have some snapdragons to put in to this front garden as well. I have perennials that I need to transplant still, perennials that I need to divide, perennials that I've been saving in containers that need to be planted in the ground as soon as possible because our first frost is coming in approximately 3 weeks if we look at the average weather. But anyway, you're also probably going to see me in multiple outfits during this video because I have very small slots of time that I have to get all of this fall garden cleanup done. This has just been an extraordinarily busy fall for me, and so the garden, you know, tends to get neglected in those times. But I do work almost 55 hours a week as a daycare provider, and I tend my garden on my off time. So fall garden cleanup this year has been just a little bit difficult, but bear with me. If you see me in multiple outfits, that is why I'm getting this all done pretty slowly. And I have a couple of perennials that I need to transplant, plus an annual I need to take out that I honestly can't bring myself to do right now today because the peak of our monarch fall migration is happening in North Texas right now. And just a couple days ago, I probably saw 50 monarchs in my gardens. There were minimally 10 to 20 monarchs at any given time in my front yard and my backyard because of 2 different plants. I'm going to show them to you right now. Like I said, I need to move them and or take them out because I have plants for those spaces. However, I can't bring myself to do it because the monarchs are enjoying them and need them to feed on for the rest of their migration. So I'm going to hold off on those a little bit for the monarch's sake. Okay, so here is plant number 1 that I'm going to transplant these. This is Mystic Spire's Blue Salvia. And of course, there was literally just a monarch on this plant and I can't find one now. I do think the peak of their migration was just a couple of days ago because today their numbers are a lot less. I still have bees all over these. I still have other butterflies on them. Oh, there's a monarch, y'all. See her? There she goes. Oh, they are just absolutely beautiful, stunning, stunning creatures. I love them so much. So these Mystic Spires Blue Salvia, I have a spot that I want to plant them in, but that particular spot I have planted Tithonia. So I'm going to take you in the backyard and show you the Tithonia because it's also covered in monarchs. These 2 plants, the Mystic Spires Blue Salvia and my Tithonia in the backyard, are the monarch's favorite plants in my garden. I have zinnias, I have gomphrena, I have vitex tree, I have all kinds of other, pollinator plants, but this salvia and the Tithonia are their absolute favorites. Yeah, there's another monarch. See, how can I take these out right now? But that's okay. So what I will do today is take out my zinnias. So my front garden this year, I loved it so much. These are all dwarf varieties of zinnia. This is double profusion cherry zinnia from Eden Brothers. And then these, I don't remember if these are a Zahara mix or a profusion mix because both the packets of pinwheel, the packets of pinwheel mix and Zahara mix both had pictures of these white zinnias with pink centers, which I absolutely love. So a lot of these, they're either Zaharas or pinwheels. I couldn't tell you. The only ones I can tell you for sure are these double hot cherry profusion. And then I have State Fair zinnias, and then I have gomphrena. The yellow flowers that you are seeing is also going to get pulled. That is, believe it or not, Black-Eyed Susan vine is acting like a ground cover / flower cover at this point. I did not plant those seeds. They were growing up this pillar last year, and so they've just kind of seeded themselves everywhere and growing over everything and now flowering, which I think is kind of cool They're not really choking anything out necessarily, but they definitely have to go. And then this one is another variety of State Fair that's probably the most beautiful zinnia I've ever grown. I don't know, the colors on it are just incredible. I did not fix, like, this is not edited to show this color. This is like the true red orange color that is. So anyway, I need to save that one and let the petals dry, let everything dry, because I'm going to save the seeds on that. Just really quick, see that baby lizard? It's a baby anole. Hi, he's so tiny. He's watching a little tiny fly. Do y'all see that? You see the fly he's watching? Oh, I get so distracted, y'all. But anyway, that's all coming out. I do have some pansies that need to go in that place of the dwarf zinnias, and the mystic spires. So let me talk about that really quick. Here are my pansies that I have. I have almost 4 flats. So these that you see here, I forget what they are called. Do any of them have the tags anymore? These are all matrix pansies. These are like a darker purple. I forget what they're called though. I know I must have a tag on one of those. But anyway, these are gonna go in the containers where the Mystic Spires Blue Salvia is, and then in very late December or early January, I will be popping some tulips, like a mixed variety of tulips. And so that's why the pansies are a single color that I think will make the colors of the tulips pop. The tulips are pinks, purples, reds, and yellows, and maybe oranges, like lots of rainbow kind of colors. That's just who I am. I like all of the colors. But anyway, and then the ones that are going to go in the place of the zinnias, this is also a matrix flower, but this mix, oh my goodness, here we go. This mix is Matrix Jewels mix. However, I didn't want the raspberry color in there, or there's a dark purple. I didn't want those in there. I wanted it to be all of this clear blue, clear yellow, and clear orange color. So I kind of made my own flats here that were just the blues, the yellows, and the oranges, and those are going to go in my front border where the dwarf zinnias are. I think that's going to look lovely. Look at those colors together. Some of these are just fantastic. Let me see a yellow. Look at that. Oh my goodness. They're so pretty. Anyway, those are the pansies. And then the snapdragons. My neighbor bought these for me, and they're not looking amazing. I have not had the best experience with snapdragons. These have been here on my porch for like a week and a half, 10 days. And they're just not looking the best, but we'll see once they get planted in the ground. Maybe they will perform differently in the ground. For my neighbor, they performed beautifully. They survived the winter, and then they started flowering in the spring, and they were unbelievable in her garden last year. So she picked up a flat for me. That was so sweet. Let's see. This is a perennial that I was growing in a front container blanket flower. This was grown from seed this year. So I need, it's you know, it's about done with its life right now. It probably could use some fertilizer, it seems like, but I'm going to transplant that to an area of my backyard garden. And then in its place, I had to get this. I saw this at HEB. This is celosia, and it's called Dracula Red Celosia, and it's just a remarkable plant. Holy cow, it's unbelievable. And then I don't know if the leaves are supposed to turn this color when they're done, but look at the color of that leaf. Wow, it's like turning fall colors, kind of. It's really cool, and the dark purple veining in there. So I'm going to put that celosia in the place of the blanket flower there. I think it'll look really great. So that's the work that I have to do in the front yard. And then let me show you the work that I have to do in the backyard. So here I am in my backyard, and there's my backyard kitty cat, Miss Chloe. Hi, sweetie. This is the tithonia that I was telling you about. That's pretty much, I know it's flowering, but see, like it's it's done for the most part. And then let me show you right above me are 4 monarch butterflies. Yeah, there's one that just flew off. They're so shy. And then there's 3, if you guys can see, those 3 flowers have monarch butterflies on them. The monarchs just absolutely love them. So yeah, as much as I'm ready to take these out, oh, look at that flower, you guys. It's just unbelievable. I don't blame them for loving it. It apparently has the best food as well. But the Mystic Spires, one of the Mystic Spires blue salvia is going to go down there, I think. And the other Mystic Spires blue salvia is going to go down there. And like I said, that's exactly where I have the Tithonia. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait on that. It looks not the the cleanest at the moment, but that's just how it is. So this Gomphrena is going to get pulled out. Let's see. The Ageratum is going to get pulled out. This Gomphrena is more than ready to be pulled out. I'm going to find a home for this. This is Summer Carnival Hibiscus. It's just never really done well at all for me. So I'm going to let somebody else try. This Texas sage is dying. Probably too much water. I don't know. It's been there so long. Same watering as usual. So I'm not super sure on why, but I'm going to prune it back super, super heavy. See if it comes back next year. That's another thing on the to-do list. All of this needs to be taken out. This is Gomphrena. And then I need to find a spot for this Verbena bonariensis. It is a perennial. So I can plant that somewhere. I don't know where. Let's see. I know, Chloe, you're just begging, right? Begging for my attention. I need to take that Gomphrena out. It is done. The blanket flower that I showed you is going to go right there. And I might also put the Verbena bonariensis back there. Just a side note, I don't know if I'm going to do it now, but one of you commented that my peony that's right here, that's been in the ground for 3 years, that still did not bloom this year, she recommended that I scrape away some of that soil so that it isn't buried too deep. When I planted these, I followed all of the recommendations. I tend to not put my plants too deep anyway. I don't think my peonies are buried too deep, but I'm just desperate to try to get blooms from these peonies. So I have one here, I have one in my side yard, and I think I'll go ahead and maybe scrape that, scrape some of the dirt away there and see if that helps for blooming next season. Let's see. I guess I could pull all of those annuals out, but I kind of want to see if the dichondra will survive. It is a zone 8 plant, and we are zone 8 here. Let's see what else. Shoot. Oh, yes. Oh my, look at this little spider on my black-eyed Susan vine. I didn't know you moved there. It was in my garden over there. So yeah, you moved again, didn't you? Okay. Ooh, 2 big egg sacs maybe? Anyway, either that or snack for later. Okay. One thing I could definitely do today, this is probably the first time y'all are seeing this, I have a Japanese maple. I got this for my birthday. My aunt and my grandmother sent me some money from California, and I had been researching Japanese maples to put in this specific spot because it is an understory tree, a shade area. And the one that I really wanted was Orangiola. And so here it is. Orangiola. Look at that. So it's already, wow, sun to shade. But anyway, I got it at an amazing price at DNL Nursery in Aubrey. I have this pot and it's all ready to go. It was way too hot for me to actually transplanted. I was too scared, so I kind of planted it all up, gave it irrigation, got it ready, and then I waited until it cooled off. So it's definitely cool enough for me to plant that today. I have another tree that's going to go on the other side in a container just like the Japanese maple, and it is this tree. This is Alexandrina magnolia. So this tree was given to me for free through the, let's see, I think it was CoServe ran like a whole promotion with coinciding with the Arbor Tree Foundation. And I think I signed up for this back in May, that you could sign up for a free tree. Like you had to give them some statistics, and it had to tell you like where to put it in your backyard, blah, 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 how much energy savings you could have. But I was not a CoServe customer, and it still let me go through with it. And it needs to be planted. This is a fairly new growth that I can see. It needs some iron. It needs to be planted so badly. So this guy, gonna take it over here, is gonna go on the other side of my shed. Right there. So I do have some Russian sage and blanket flower kind of covering this pot, but it's kind of the best. And then I have some potting soil and expanded shale in there, but this is going to go right in there, and I think it will do well there. It likes the sun, and so this is a sunny spot. I know I'll be able to have it in a container at least for a few years, and then I plan on that oak leaf hydrangea taking over that space back there. But if it doesn't, I might be able to transplant the tree back there. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so that tree needs to get planted there. We could put that there. At some point, I want to divide these hostas. At some point, I want to divide this autumn fern because it's gotten so huge. So that can be done. I'm trying to think. Oh, I have some other plants that needed to get planted, perennials, that needed to get planted as well. Let me show you those. Okay, so here's my 3-tier planter on my porch, and this is a heuchera, gosh, that I've kept alive all season. I have a spot that I want it to go, and put that there. Oh yes, here we go. Oh good Lord, that's heavy. Oh wow. Okay, so these are variegated liriope, and then we've got the cutest variety of hosta. They're almost like Mickey Mouse ears. My friend Stacy gave them to me, and she doesn't know what the variety's called, but it's like a miniature variety of hosta. And you see these crispy edges just because it's time that when the nights cool down, the hosta begins to go dormant anyway. So it looks like that liriope can be divided too. Wow, that's insane. Anyway, I have a spot in my backyard for this too, and when I get to it, this ajuga and this ajuga, I have a spot in my front garden for that as well. And then I picked up this carex. This is Evercolor Everillo carex. I got it on clearance at the beginning of the season, but I love it so much that I think I'm gonna keep it here on my 3-tier planter and see how long I can get that to survive, because I'll probably put it in a bigger pot. I can see that it needs that, but I really love it, and I think it will be an evergreen interest there as well. So that will be really fun. So that, I believe, I'm trying to look around. I have such a long list, oh my gosh, of things that need to get done, but yes. So I'm going to begin, as much as I hate to do it, I'm going to begin on this front garden and start ripping these zinnias out. But I have to get my pansies planted. They need some time to strengthen their roots and stuff before winter hits. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. Here we go. Oh boy. So this is one of those moments where you look back and go, oh my goodness, what did I just do? Wow, look at that pile. Those are all of my annuals from my front garden. Black-eyed Susan vine, Gomphrena globosa, state fair zinnia, and dwarf zinnias. This is it. Okay, it like the annuals kind of overgrew everything in the garden this year, especially the annuals that I planted back there. I only planted 3 Gomphrena globosa, 2 or 3 state fair zinnias, and I didn't plant the black-eyed Susan vine. That was just already there. I'm trying to think. That's all I planted back there, but it absolutely took over everything over here. So much so that I forgot, like, it was swallowing up a lot of my perennials that are supposed to like hold their spot, right? This kind of gives you a rough look if you're wondering why there are terracotta pots inside, and like not all of them are even visible. I have to unpull, like, that's how I planted up my zinnias this year, and they did remarkably well, planted in terracotta pots. For whatever reason, this particular spot has been rough for me, especially this last season. Things have just suddenly died, and I'm not sure why. So I tried something different, and I put in I'm getting all itchy, anyway, I put in these terracotta pots. Are there 20 of them, 18 of them, something like that, and they're in there. I think they're 6-inch terracottas, and so that's how I'm planting my annuals. At least I'll do that for a couple years, and yeah, this used to be a limelight hydrangea in a container. It died. I put a plumbago there. This is the annual variety of plumbago that has blue flowers, and I thought there's no reason to pull that right now unless I have a plant to go in it, so I'm leaving it there. It will get killed by frost. There was a lot of May night salvia like all around in this area, and it's still there. It just got totally covered up by vine and Gomphrena, and the same thing over here. Oh my gosh, because they got like leggy and viney. I don't know, but anyway, some of them are blooming. You can see, look at that. So I just kind of have to put this like this, or I don't know what to do. I guess I'll put it like that for now. And then there's this daylily right here that's a beautiful peach daylily, still alive, thank goodness, because I love it so much. But yeah, I may just prune that back a little bit, get it ready for winter time. And I had a Sweet William here, and I think it just completely got overtaken. That's okay. And then I'm trying to think of what was back here. It's non-existent any longer. So over here, I did have Superbena sparkling amethyst, and it had a rough season. Honestly, they're treated as annuals anyway. I've got a little bit of it remaining over there, but that died off. I have an echinacea that is over here that does have some growth on it still. I'm going to cut that back. I have another daylily right there. Let's go ahead and get in there. I mean, lots of vines in this area, lots of grasses started growing, some weeds and things, but this is an echinacea that got swallowed. So there's the echinacea leaves. Those look decent, but the rest of this, like, I don't know. Hopefully that comes back. There's new growth. So I don't think it's completely gone. Lots of this stuff I have to pull still. Gomphrena seeds everywhere. I'll bet you I have tons of Gomphrena that have seeded itself for next year. Gosh, I should have better kept that Gomphrena at bay. I'm regretting that. Here's a daylily that it survived and doubled. Like, I could totally divide that, although I'm not going to, because I want it to be like a firm presence back there. And then I have the same echinacea back here. It's like a small red one. Oh my gosh, not only did it survive, but it tried to bloom again. Couldn't see that before. I'm gonna have to take these dead parts of it out, which they're just kind of coming out, you know. goodness. What did I do? What did I do? This part is unaffected because that's not where the annuals were. I've got more Midnight Salvia, variegated Vinca Major, Dusty Miller, all of the things. There's my beautiful hydrangea. Oh, there's more Gomphrena that I didn't get. Okay. Where's, oh, it's just laying down. I did get it, but it was just laying down. But take a look at that pile. I can't. I started off with this silly bucket. That was not near enough. I would have had to take 10 trips. I'm going to have to get, wow, I'm going to have to get my trash can, pull that out, and fill that up. But it's one of those uh-oh moments. Oh, I also had on this side some lemon balsedum that was going all around this bird bath. It got swallowed up. Only a little bit of it is still alive. I do have balloon flower over here somewhere. Let's see. Yeah. I don't think balloon flower is existent any longer right here in this location. It's gone. Dang. And then another peach daylily. I don't think this one was completely covered up in the Gomphrena, but it was close. And I need to pull some of that variegated Vinca. And then now finally that dianthus is not swallowed up by Gomphrena, so that's good. But, you know, when things... Oh, I wanted to show you. There's a vitex, a baby vitex tree that's trying to come up. So we definitely are pulling that. I wanted to show it to you before I pulled it up. Yep, baby vitex. We don't want that there. Oh, no. No, no, no. But what I do see, which is, oh, you know what? I was thinking that I was thinking that these were little dianthus, because look, that's my dianthus leaves right there. But it's not. It's Gomphrena. I'm almost certain that the Gomphrena has just seeded itself everywhere. I have another one. Where did I see it? Oh, I don't even know where I saw it anymore. Oh, right here. See that? I don't know what that is, honestly. I don't think that's Gomphrena. I don't know. I don't know what that is. But yeah, little things like that are everywhere. So I've got to pull them up. That's another vitex, I think. Oh boy. Okay, don't want those. Yep, anyway, what I wanted to say is that with empty spaces comes new opportunities, right? We all learn, no matter how many years of gardening we have, we all kind of learn through experience what works, what doesn't work in our own garden spaces. But the way that I look at it is if we have any fails, like in my opinion, I have a fail because a lot of these plants kind of died that I needed to stay here as perennials. But when we have fails, it's just really opportunities for new opportunities, new successes, right? So no big deal. I will cover these things up. The good news is that a lot of perennials will be on sale soon, so I'll be able to figure things out. I'm also winter sowing a ton of things this winter, so I might just have some room for all of these things coming into the next season. Okay, so day 2 of fall cleanup. I was not able to get very much done yesterday at all. I only had about an hour in my schedule, and pulling these took pretty much the entire thing with filming. It does take longer when I'm filming, but as you can see, we have a lot of cleanup to do. A lot of the leftover leaves are in there, and weeds are in there, grasses got in there. I need to go pull those up, figure out where my empty spaces are, and then I need to plant my Snapdragons and my Pansies. And then figure out after that where I have some spaces for perennials, if I need to pick those up. I have a blanket flower that I could put in there, and I also have a Russian sage. I don't think I want to put the Russian sage in there. It's just a very similar look to a lot of the things that I have going on in my front garden, so that one's not going to be a good fit. But yeah, we're just gonna clean that up. By the way, yesterday after I filmed and cleaned up a little bit, we had about 2.5 inches of rain, so everything's gonna be super wet this morning, and probably really easy to pull. Honestly, it'll make things a little bit easier, but really dirty, really muddy. But here we go. Okay, so I've got this front section done. I just wanted to stop to let you see how I have my terracotta pots lined up in this front garden border. I'm telling y'all, it works so well. And I truly discovered today why I was having an issue with this front portion and like sudden plant death and things like that. There were at least 4 of these guys that like had mole tunnels that were coming through and trying to go through to get to this like edge right here. And so they had been kind of like, there was a molehill and then it stopped and then it went around in between and up to the front. So I had several portions up here that the dirt was like super soft and like in between. Some of them were like leaning and wonky, and the reason is because molehills had been dug around them. So I will probably continue to be doing this method for my annuals for quite some time, just because like it keeps the moles from getting the roots of my annuals. I'm considering getting, now that I know that moles are the problem, I'm considering getting those mole net things. Like you can buy little net things to go into the ground to plant your perennials and shrubs and things like that. I'm considering that, but so anyway, I just wanted to show y'all, this is what I'm going to be planting. Hopefully today my pansies will go in this terracotta line, and then I have enough to put a row of pansies behind. I'm going to trim up this daylily. This May night salvia looks a little wonky, and so does this one right here. So I think I'm going to trim those up and just let them regrow next season, because they'll just get brown and icky anyway. So that's my plan. I'm going to trim up that daylily, and then I got to take care of all of the vines and things that are growing back there as well, and then trim up the echinacea. So that's next. Woohoo! Doesn't that look nice and clean? There's a little bit of leaf fragments there. Can't get all of them, to be honest, but cleaned all of this up, took out all kinds of vines and grasses that were back here. I trimmed up the daylily. I freed up the dianthus. I did take out like a Dusty Miller. Oh, my camera stand's still in the garden. I need to take care of that. I cleaned up the bottom of the vitex tree and I do need to trim those back just a little bit. And then let's see. Yep, this echinacea is doing really well. I cleaned that up. That daylily is doing fine. This echinacea was, struggling a bit, but, pulled out all the dead stuff. This actually is called, double scoop mandarin daylily, or, echinacea. And I cleaned up this daylily. It was so covered up that it was like reaching for light, really leggy. So I cut that back a little bit, as well as that May night salvia. I cut back the May night salvia around here, and then that plumago, like I said, that's gonna die as soon as we get a frost. But yeah, looking at that video, I was like, oh my gosh, all of the things that were there. I had Rudbeckia, which I can't keep alive more than a season. I can grow it from seed new and every year anyway. I had Sweet William, balloon flower, like there were so many things. Like Super Beano was all over here and it looked amazing. But right now I'm going to focus on what I do have, and that is I need to plant my pansies. So, and my snapdragons. I'm going to put snapdragons back here. I'm going to put pansies in the front. I'm going to use potting soil for the terracotta pots. And then I have, some compost, and I always use biotone, so I need to go get that. And I'm going to be planting those pansies. One little thing before I plant these pansies, because I am going to do a second row back here of pansies, they're not going to be in terracotta pots, but I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. This Midnight Salvia is placed too far forward. I'm going to move it. I'm either going to move it back, or I'm going to move it back over there, because that whole pot is kind of surrounded by Midnight Salvia, so I might put it like right there. That daylily going to stay there. It's totally fine where it is. And then I did decide, I've been going back and forth with lemon ball sedum. It kind of got beat up a little bit because it was covered by the gomphrena. It doesn't like that. It doesn't like to be covered. But I've debated transplanting this to the backyard potentially, or leaving it there because I like it because it's evergreen, but so will the pansies, and that's in the way of where that second row of pansies is going to be. So I likely will transplant that as well. Okay, so this front garden cleanup and planting is done for now. These pansies just went in. These are matrix pansy, and the mix is Jules mix. However, like I told you at the beginning, I took this raspberry color and there was a dark purple color that you see here. I took that out because I really just wanted it to be blues and yellows and oranges, super bright. That's just me, super colorful, perfect for spring, and it's honestly perfect for fall right now too. So I love them so much. I've had such great luck with matrix pansies that, like, that's exactly what I go for. If I have what I want in matrix pansies, that's what I get over all of the other types, just because they do so amazingly every single year, through the winter, through the snow, and they just keep blooming for me. They won't bloom in the snow, but they definitely will bloom after the snow and even in the cold. And then I have a row of Snapdragons back here, given to me by my lovely neighbor Aida. She picked them up at Green Acres Nursery, a flat of them, just for me. She is so sweet, and I know they don't look amazing, at least the blooms don't look amazing right now. They've been sitting in their flat for, I don't know, 10-12 days, something like that. And so the blooms, they just don't love it, you know, in their little tiny containers. I think that they will love being planted there, just so that you know I have compost and plant tone in every hole. I could have sworn I picked up some biotone. I thought I had, but I didn't. So I have plenty of plant tone on hand. And when you don't have biotone, when you're planting something, then plant tone is better than nothing. It just gives it like a starter fertilizer to get the roots started. And you don't want to be putting plant tone on a whole lot of things right now, but your winter annuals, yes, definitely, to get them started, you want them to have a little bit of fertilizer to get them going and get the roots, keep them from getting transplant shock and all that. So I think these Snapdragons are going to look gorgeous. Now, my experience, wow, I don't have any experience with Snapdragons, honestly, but my neighbor Aida does, and I've talked to others that have said here in North Texas, Snapdragons won't necessarily be blooming through the winter, but they will survive, and then in the spring they will just be this huge, beautiful pop of color. So that will look lovely in that back row back there. So that's what the front garden looks like. As of now, there's still plenty of other fall cleanup to do, so I'm going to try to get that done. So one thing I'm going to do right now is this blanket flower. I had it in this pot. It is a perennial, and so I'm going to take that out, and I think I have a spot in the backyard garden where I want to put it. And then what will go in this place is this lovely Dracula red celosia. So that's going to look really good there. And then honestly, I think I'm going to pop out the mums. This one I think died. I don't know. Yeah, this one's crispy. This one's doing okay, but in its place, I have 3 Snapdragons that are left, and I'm debating on leaving this Creeping Jenny or not. Like this part of the Creeping Jenny is still doing amazing, and I think it's rated down to zone 8, but I don't know. This part doesn't look good at all. So I'm debating. I'm hoping that some of it roots down here and it starts being a little bit of a ground cover down there. But anyway, I'm going to clean up these front planters a little bit, take that blanket flower, and the other thing that I'm thinking about doing is dividing this Gerber daisy. My neighbor says that the Gerber daisy can do good in full sun. I'm going to research it. And if I could divide it, well, the other thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to divide some Sweet William that I have in the back, and then put Sweet William here, or 2 Gerber daisies back here in these, these empty spaces there. So anyway, still super undecided, but here we go. Okay, so my time here is starting to end. I think I have a couple of things left, but I wanted to show you the outcome of splitting the Gerbera daisy. Here is the biggest one that I was able to split, and it goes right back in the pot. Honestly, this is kind of how it looked at the beginning of this season. It's crazy big. Here is the other really good size one. It was a little more difficult than I thought. There weren't any like clear divisions or places to separate, and they were all connected by a very hard center, like a bulb. So that one of them, unfortunately, like popped off of the bulb or whatever it is. There are a couple roots here, so I think I'm gonna like chop this and plant it and see if it will get established, but if not, it's just the way it goes. But this one for sure is going to be good to go, and that needs to go on the ground right now in a part shade locations in my backyard. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, woohoo! Oh my goodness. So here is the other half of that Gerbera daisy, and I guess this was the part that had the blooms on it, which I'm going to see, like, I'm going to monitor this in the next couple days. We have some rain coming, rain chances, which is great. I'll keep this really, really well watered. And if it starts to look like it's, going through some transplant shock, I will cut this thing down a little bit so that it doesn't have all of the stress of keeping the leaves alive, the flowers alive. It's a lot of stress on the plant to also be divided and then transplanted. So, but it looks so pretty. I wanted to show you guys at least before I cut it. This went in an area that I had Paisley Pup dog hobble that was not doing so well. So I think it's because it gets a little bit of afternoon sun and it just hates that. Look at that. Oh dear, not doing well. So I transplanted it back there to give it a lot more shade. It will pretty much get no sun at all now, but it's a full shade plant, so I think it'll be okay. And then I had a portion of Gerbera daisy that broke off without a lot of roots at all. So I did cut that back really heavily. It probably could even be cut back a little more. I didn't want to cut all of the leaves off though. So put some compost in there, expanded shale for drainage, plant tone for fertilizer to get the roots going, and we'll see how that does. It's right by a drip line, so should be good. This is a part shade location, kind of on the border of full sun, so we'll see how that does. I also wanted to show you right here is where I transplanted that blanket flower that was in the pot. And again, I could have cut this back. I'm going to see how it does. It already was kind of a struggling plant, so I probably will. Now that I think about it, I'll probably just cut that off. But it does have some blooms, some new blooms, and it's, tipping just a little bit right now, but I think it'll bounce back pretty well. My other blanket flower took to transplant amazingly well. Just a side note, look at these monarchs. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? They're migrating here in North Texas, and there's monarchs flying all around me right now. There's another one down there. Anyway, I've done a video on this. You can watch that video, but Chithonia is like the #1 butterfly attractor plant, honestly. There it goes. But the monarchs especially love it. Absolutely love it. But a little bit to show you over here. My neighbor Aida was also doing some garden maintenance, fall maintenance today, and she took out a bunch of this scabiosa. It's purple. And she asked me if I wanted it. I was like, yeah, absolutely. So it's very shallow rooted. I kind of just dug an area up, put some expanded shale for drainage, again, some compost, plant tone, popped it in there, and kind of tucked it in a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. It's like a big old mound. So scabiosa does really good in part sun. That's what this is. So that'll be great. That's it for today. I've been out here, let me see, it's 2:45. I've been in and out since 8:30 this morning. 6 hours. It definitely doesn't feel like I've done 6 hours worth of work, although I am very, very tired. I transplanted a lot of things. I divided some things. I planted a lot of plants, cleaned up, It's been a day, but thanks for joining me. I'm gonna stay tuned for a round 2 because I still have a lot more to do. I'm dividing that autumn fern. There's some to do back here. So I have to plant that Japanese maple in the pot. I have another tree, Alexandria magnolia, to be planted in that pot over there. And I have a little bit more, I think, dividing to do things. Yeah, so stay tuned for part 2 of fall maintenance. I'm not going to be able to get to it this weekend. So thanks for joining, everybody. Bye-bye.